Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking at section 3.6 today, which is savings accounts. Basically, what we're doing today is we are looking at simple interest and compound interest. Okay, so they're using the idea of putting money into a savings account to help you, figure out the amount of interest that you're going to earn, because you do earn interest when you put money into a savings account. It may not be much, but it is some. Okay, so we've got simple interest and compound interest. And we also have the idea of some interest tables that we'll take a look at here as well. So this first example here, what interest is paid on $910 at 2.35%? That is paid quarterly. So this is simple interest, which means we're going to use I equals PRT, principal times rate times time. So we've got our interest that we're looking for. Our principal is $910. Our rate is 2.35%, which is 0.0235. And then our time, since it's paid quarterly, that means every 3 months. When we look at interest as far as time goes, we look at it as per year. So if it's quarterly, we just write in 1/4 or 0.25 if you'd like to go that route as well. And when we multiply this answer together, we get these numbers together, we get an answer of $5.35. Okay, so that is the amount of interest that is paid on our amount. Now we also have compound interest. Okay, and compound interest, there is a compound interest formula, but our book does not use that. It uses the simple interest formula, and it just asks you to re-add in those things. Now we're not going to make this insanely long, but what we've got is we still have I equals PRT, but now we've got $700. That is at 3%, so 0.03, and it's compounded quarterly, so that means 1/4. But what we do is now it's compounded for 6 months. So this is 3 months worth of interest. So we're going to have to do it again at some point. But since it's compounded interest, what we do here is we get this I value, which we get as $5.25. And then we're going to add that 525 back into our 700. So now our new interest, or our new principal, becomes 705.25. And then we redo the same thing over again for 0.03. It's compounded quarterly again. So now this is our 6-month total. All right, when we do this, we get an answer of $5.29. We add that back into the 705.25, and our final answer is $710.54. So that's how much we will have in our account at the end. Okay, so the interest earned, the I total for this is $10.54. But they're asking for how much total we'll have, so we add that back in. That's what you do when it's compounded. It means you just keep adding it back in. All right, if we wanted to do it for 12 months, we'd have to redo this process over 2 more times. Okay, so it could be a long process if you're compounding quarterly for a long period of time. If you were compounding semi-annually, that would be 1/2 for our fractions, and you would just have to do it for a year. It would only be done twice. Okay, so that is compound interest. Now our book does a good job, and this is kind of what they do as well. They give you an interest table, and this is compound interest again, but now the R and T values are figured and determined for you. And we've got annual interest, so every year, or you could have a daily interest rate. Okay, so it says we're investing $500 at 1.5% for 8 years, so that's 1 1/2%. So we're going to go to 8 years on our table. That's 1.126493. That's our decimal we're going to get, and we can see that right here's my mouse. That's where we get that value, 1.26493. We just multiply those two things together, and that gives us an answer of $563.25. So we round to the 0.25 there, and that is our interest, our new amount after 8 years using our interest table. Okay, so there's 3 different ways for us to calculate interest: simple interest, compound interest, and interest tables. If you have any questions, just let me know.